Hi, I'm Cheryl Chandola from Better World Rocks, and I have an Etsy shop that I sell beads and crystals. I have over 27,000 sales currently, and this is where I pack my orders. This is Meet the Maker with Better World Rocks. So I started my business about 30 years ago. It was actually 1992 when I went on a backpacking trip all over Southeast Asia with a friend who I had met while living in Japan. The way I got to Japan was I was living and working there because I had studied Southeast Asian studies in college with a focus on Japan. And that led me to Japan, which led me to that friend, who then together we traveled all over Southeast Asia. It was a 6-month trip. We saw some amazing countries. We started in Hong Kong, traveled up through China for 6 weeks, took a bus over to Tibet. From Tibet, we flew into Nepal. And in Nepal was where we found all these amazing pieces of jewelry and crystals and beads and artifacts, all kinds of amazing things, all of which I carried to begin with. But then I ended up doing just the silver jewelry, and I wholesaled silver jewelry for many, many years to stores. I went to trade shows all over the country. But then when the internet started, I realized that I could sell some of the components a little bit easier, so I transitioned everything to the internet and started selling the strands of beads. Those I had found my contact in Hong Kong in the beginning of that 6-month backpacking trip. And to this day, I still use the same suppliers, many of the same suppliers. I'm really good friends with many of the people that I've worked with for all these years, keep in good touch with them. I've been to Nepal on buying trips over 50 times. Most of them I traveled through Bangkok and would also stop in Bangkok and do some buying there as well. So I've done all kinds of things. A bunch of other countries peppered in there too to buy some additional things. I've also been to India, been to Indonesia, been to Turkey, all of which to buy some jewelry and round everything out. So one of the most interesting stories that I can remember happening was when we were on that 6-month backpacking trip. And we had spent 6 weeks in China, basically just hopping on trains and going to different cities where other travelers had suggested that we go. Lots of the train rides were very, very long. Sometimes we were even like laying on the floor underneath the seats and super uncomfortable. But I can remember that some other travelers were taking pictures of all of this happening while we were on the train. Little did we know that in China at the time, this was 1992, you're not allowed to take pictures on trains because they're government owned and they're very, very strict about the rules about being on the trains and taking pictures of the trains. And there was this huge confrontation. The police came on board, ripped the film out of the camera. We all thought we were heading to Chinese jail, but we ultimately got out of it. One of the friends on the train luckily had been studying in Taiwan and knew Chinese and was able to talk to the person and just explain the whole story. So we got out of that. So I guess my focus with Better World Rocks is that I make sure that I buy all genuine gemstones, very good quality beads. I have a lot of jewelry makers who buy from me. They buy from me in bulk, as well as people who are just maybe making one piece. And one thing I'm definitely known for is chakra beads, the chakra bead sets, colors of the rainbow, and people are making a lot of jewelry out of those. So I sell many different sizes and combinations of the chakra beads, and it's probably 3 different suppliers that I use in order to just get those beads the perfect colors that I need them to be for the chakra bead sets. So I would say that would be what I'm most known for on Etsy. So you can find me at betterworldrocks.com, which will take you directly to my Etsy site. You can also search that on Instagram to see the pictures of the new items that come in. I guess one thing I am thinking about doing is doing some finished pieces of gemstone jewelry, because having the beads, a lot of people ask me if I have the finished pieces as well. So I think I'll probably transition into that in the future. That'll be the next segment of Better World Rocks. So this is Meet the Maker. Thanks for listening.